We are live. Welcome to the SEO and AI news, because it's half of this is AI at this point. For week 20, right? Last week was week 20, if my memory serves me right.
You're correct. Your
I am
memory is correct.
perfect. Yeah, we've got a lot of good stuff for you guys and gals today. We've got Linus, and my name is Frederick. We work for Præcis Digital, and let's just jump into it, shall we? First up, a cool little, I call these quick win kind of cases, insights that I found on LinkedIn, which is really good actually. So basically, this anonymous client had a published date and last modified date on page. And I think this is a good reminder that Google will also look at on page and actually prioritize that sometimes over structured data for certain things. Perhaps not snippets, but still. And in this case, it showed the wrong date, which was the initially published, not last modified. So they just removed those two dates and instead just one date published, and they just update that as the latest one when you modify your content, increase CTR by 20%, because now we have a more recent date. So just a really good reminder that on page versus structured data and kind of what you want to show Google, and that it's not perfect. Love it. Quick win.
I think also Search Pilot did one on this a few months back, or I've seen something like this before as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember something like that, but there was also with like, what do you do in the structured data? And I think it's good to have as much info as possible, but that Google isn't smart enough to say it's been modified this date. Why don't I show that? I find a little bit curious. I don't know why Google wouldn't do that, but hey. Another cool article here on how you can detect that you are reading AI content. So not how to detect it programmatically, but as you as a person. And I think we work so much with AI, I think just in our like daily work. So I think there's a bunch of good tips here, but I think most important is to share this with people who are optimizing or overseeing AI content. The reason for that is AI can generate good basis for an article, but we need to kind of rewrite it and fact check it as humans. That is a must. And if we can also avoid making it look like AI content, because people tend to not trust it, where people are developing this skill where they can start seeing it a little bit when it's too well written or stuff like that. And Google quality raters will also really judge your content harshly based on those factors. So these are just a good list of things to avoid when you're optimizing this content. So share that. Really good article. There's a free Chrome extension in town, and there's so many of these. But I like this one. I mean, it could disable cookies and JavaScript. I have the Chrome developer one for that. But I really like the user agent switching, which is much easier to do there than in Chrome DevTools, and network throttling as well for speed testing and stuff. So pretty cool. All of these options are available in Chrome Dev. I actually just made an internal guide for user agent switching in Chrome Dev, and then this tool, Chrome, comes out. Why would we want to change user agents, Linus?
Because we want to know what agent or crawling agent can access what content.
Exactly, and I think right now the big one is AI crawlers, right? And there's a list of like OpenAI, Perplexity. So this might just be a little bit easier than Chrome DevTools for testing. So have a go at this extension. Also, another doom and gloom. I like the title here. There's a lot of doom and gloom around SEO right now. And Viper Chill, he made his late State of SEO report. I remember seeing it last year, and very good stuff. Again, I think he's really angled it as a more positive thing. Like, search traffic is still huge. Real businesses are winning. There's plenty of businesses that are getting more traffic through Google, et cetera, et cetera. And even Ahrefs tools like SEO tools are gaining bigger communities, more clients. So all I'm saying is, yes, AI overviews is a thing, but we're not going into a 0-click era where you don't get any traffic, and there is always opportunity. So I just want remind people about that. That's important. Do you feel like there's gloom and doom?
Yes, but I think it's misrepresented. I think AI is. I'm beating a dead horse here, but AI is a great enabler and will change everything. And I think how I look at this is just AI will or it will make us much better marketers. And like we'll actually look at bottom line more than clicks, for example. Like we get down into here, like impressions will have much higher value. Uh, Visibility, like stuff that actually kind of matters.
Yep.
We will not like look at vanity metrics anymore. So I think this will be very good for us.
We are forced to not look at vanity metrics, I suppose. But it is, yeah. I mean, it's so hard to. I actually agree with you there, 100%. But there's still a challenge of reporting on it. Like, oh, we're now visible. We don't get a click, but we're super visible. How does that translate into? Well, okay, brand search volume might increase, but it's so much harder to relate those, and we kind of just have to rely on people's skills and experience and see the numbers go up and kind of spread the value out on, like, if you can't directly assign value to SEO, that doesn't mean it's not valuable. I think like the reporting part is going to be harder. So
100%. I also think it's worth thinking about if, let's say, the end game is we're almost zero click, and we'll start only using AI mode, and you can buy products immediately in AI mode, and they're tied to the business. Then you'll be able to track that. So I think like end game, a good product is not only good for the users, it's also good for like the people selling within that ecosystem.
yep.
So I think maybe it's doom and gloom right now, but I think it'll become very good
Yeah.
in the future.
Yeah, and a lot of that doom and gloom is companies that are preying on your fear. You're going to lose so much traffic with AI overviews. Are you ready? We can help. And before it even happens, you're like, people freaking out. And it's like, yeah, okay, but maybe not. Maybe it's not like the end of the world. Great. Yeah, no. Good point. This one, I'm not going to go into detail about this one, but there's a, the antitrust lawsuit trial, and Google Deposition. You can read it; it's public, and it offers a pretty interesting view into their algorithms. And I think one of the things I was like interested in here is what they call handcrafted signals. So they're not actually machine learning them, which is dangerous. I think you can't really backtrack it, but they're kind of using a lot of quality raters guidelines and kind of creating these handcrafted signals, which I think is interesting, and why quality raters guidelines are still a great place to start when it comes to SEO. Not much more detail here. Just have a look at it. Kind of SEO nerdy, techie, but interesting. Local SEO, Linus. Why Google reviews will boost local SEO in 2025. And this is interesting how it should be a strategy for local SEO, especially with like high quality reviews with pictures who tend to stick in the top. If they're positive, it's better to have those at the top, but also helps a lot more, like rankings and maps, etc., etc. So yeah, just a really good guide on that and why it's important. Do you have any? I know you've been working a little bit more with local SEO internally. Any thoughts on this?
I think this is a really good guide, and some of the key takeaways here are all really, really good in like how the reviews for business partners and vendors are allowed. I think are like super key to know, but also like that specific, like if you mention a specific employee, then that can trigger like it will be like a higher ranking factor, as far as I understood this key takeaway correctly, which I also have seen and theorized about, and now see it like here as well. So I think super good, and definitely something worth
Yeah.
reading if you're working on local SEO.
I do love the 5.7, 5.5 stars out of 5 is more trustworthy because no one is perfect. I actually tried a restaurant this weekend in Lyon where I live that had 5 stars, and it was really good. But I'm always like, oh, that's a bit, is it really that good? And like, apparently, it's just really good. Nobody had a bad experience yet, so kind of interesting.
And I think that's something that's worth mentioning as well, because I think companies or businesses will come to you and ask you about why are we not 5-star. I think this is a really good like point to make, in that people are becoming more and more distrusting of perfect results.
Yep. Yep. For the people watching this video here, I just Cyrus Shepard just shared a pretty interesting. It's basically just an image here, but he's talking in his article about old Google versus new Google with AI overviews. And what you can see here on the screen is the like how Google, there's the publisher and then the search results and the ads, like kind of very simplified way how they work together, and how the publisher just have a lot less mentions and a lot of the links in AI overviews goes to new Google searches that then have ads. And so Google has been very smart here in an evil business way with AI overviews. This is very much money making for them, that they can just keep people in the search results and kind of throw them into the ad space. What I think is weird is that that journey is just, people will still end up in that search result with the ad, but now Google is just taking part of it out. And I don't, people who need to go somewhere and buy something will end up going there anyway. But we're just removing the publisher, and it's dangerous. I feel like they don't need to do this. But if you have to explain this to some clients, I think this is a great summary of the new Google. I just kind of like it. So yeah, have a good have a download of that image. Thank you, Cyrus. Google also has just launched a generative AI certification. Again, all these certifications, when it's from Google, it tends to be a little more trusted. All the training material is free, so you can train, have fun with that, and it's all on their products, of course. But they do have a pretty good, solid kind of developer environment within AI. They've done a good job at that, Google Cloud. So if you want some training, here you go. The certification is, I think, $100 though, but if you can train for free, then you can decide if you want to pay. Also, I think last week or the week before, we talked about AI overviews sharing one single position in Search Console, right, in the data, supposedly. So again, AI overviews, let's say there's 3 or 4 source links. It could be from the same website, for example, but they're basically all the same position. So now we can have, if the position is 1, then 3 people can have position 1. It's not just 1 anymore. And I think that's important to take. And this is now confirmed by Google. So when it comes to tracking, you see maybe these results, you're getting a lot more impressions for click. You'll probably see spike in impression for position 1s and not more clicks. It's probably a sign of AI overview. So you might be able to see it on your charts if you start, narrowing down some filters. Perplexity is going to work with, or they have, I think they've signed with PayPal and Venmo. So you'll be able to buy directly in Perplexity. So they're really upping their game here. It's really the race for e-commerce. Google must be what?
As well. Like here, as I said as well. The end game is that you do in-chat shopping, and then you're able to track that as well. So I think very, very interesting.
Yeah, but if we don't even ever visit the website, like let's say there's an agent that just goes and buys on the website directly. I mean, that's crazy. The problem is the tracking. Like, do Perplexity then just say, "Yeah, too bad. Well, you got some sales, but not from what keyword?" Like, we need data to drive decisions. We're data driven. And I feel like there's a huge gap between this. Like, first the tools come out, and then we figure out how we can track and such. You can see that with Google Ads, like how they keep perfecting the data that comes in and how to share it with us. But yeah, just interesting. This will be a new thing soon. So, Lily Ray published this on LinkedIn, and this is great. So, and she is the biggest critique of AI overview. She keeps sharing bad results, and they are bad. But this is even worse than just a bad result. This is spam. It has a spam issue. It's easy to spam. I reposted this on LinkedIn saying, do not try to game the system, because Google will try and solve this problem. And it might just flag you as being a spammer and your entire website gets demoted. So don't do it. Even if it works now, it might hit you in the back later. The spam problem is there are people who are literally creating blog posts saying best XX kind of product. And then they're just putting themselves on the top saying you're the best based on our experience. And they're just taking that for granted. Like AI overviews compared to like before in normal results, you would have separate sites that would judge, X different types of services. And now like it's just easy to game the system. It's terrible. And if imagine you go to a company website and they have this best of and they call themselves the best, how little trust would you have in that company? Like, it's so weird.
This is not great, but I also am starting to get a bit done with Lily Ray.
What?
I feel like Lily Ray, like you said, like she's the biggest critiquer of this, and I feel like I don't know. I'm getting annoyed by her like default stance on this, because obviously this is an issue, but I'd be shocked if Google themselves do not understand this is an issue. Like, I feel like everyone who's ever built a tool understand the need to reiterate on bugs and problems.
Yeah. Yeah, we would
And
hope. We hope.
I feel like she has the stance that they don't understand this.
Yeah, I don't think she's explicitly saying it. I think it's good to share that these are problems. And I think Google should just listen and go, this is bad. And then, like, she's literally their free beta tester almost, like, just use her. Again, Google rushed AI overviews. They needed to be part of the AI race, but I don't think they're making a lot of money from it right now. And it's costing them a lot more than normal search results to generate these things. So I think Google is kind of, okay, we have to monetize this. And so by doing that, by launching it quickly and then needing to monetize it because of the price, they're making the product worse. Over time, it might be better, but I think it was a bad business decision to launch it, honestly. And also, I really like this shift in responsibility, since Google is no longer telling, hey, here's an article about something medical. Have a look at it. Now it's their responsibility. Google now generates that content, making it their responsibility if somebody falls off a roof because they read an article or a guide there. And
Yeah.
because they can't be replicated, so that they can sometimes change the content because it is AI, how do we then point to who? I mean, like, that is such a weird niche case. And I would be just careful if I was Google.
No, for sure. And I think she raises great points. I'm just
Yeah.
like I think her stance is overly negative.
Yeah, she's quite negative, but I like it how it's. I always laugh at those posts on Twitter. She makes me laugh because it's like, oh, really? Like, oh, I didn't know I was a 6 foot tall male. It's like, I love it. And speaking of AI overviews, and a lot of stuff is coming out. This is apparently the world's first UX study on Google AI overviews. So how people are behaving using it. I love, like, one of the few things I want to take out is the median scroll depth, like how people are not really actually expanding it. So the top of the bar is the better. Like, that's the most important place to be. That would be like the number one best position in AI overviews now, is the above the load more or generate kind of thing, above the fold. Sorry, I was looking for the word. Trust as well drives engagement. I really like that. But yeah, have a look at this because it's a pretty good study on UX, and it's important to understand. I think Google would benefit from reading this, honestly. We actually talked about this a little bit earlier, but basically the old SEO playbook is dead, especially when it comes to content. So again, a lot of people just talking about search evolving, etc. The funnel is shifting, all these types of things. But oh, good. My phone is answering what I'm saying. Thank you. I activated by saying, "Hey Google." Yeah, don't do. What I think here is important is, yes, we have to adapt to AI overviews, but it's still 90% good SEO. But that 10% is where people are going to excel. Is that big difference if you can master it? I think. So yeah, a lot of this is about not just creating generic content. And I am talking with the few clients I have on retainer with content. We are talking about involving experts, getting unique, like, articles and content, not just going, hey, this is a guide to this, but actually getting real insight from people who've made a business, have done this, including them and creating EEAT, but not because of Google. But so that is the discussion that we're having with our clients, hopefully. So yeah, this is basically what they're talking about. Very good article. Another one here on how to earn AI citations in generative search. So this is a lot more LLM. I really love their little table view where you can see ChatGPT, what they're mostly citing and what they avoid. So there's differences, and I think this is just a great little study. If you're into AI discoverability early on, have a read. This is great. OpenAI's latest patent apparently points straight to semantic SEO, which that was the only thing that tweet said, and it was from Screaming Frog. So they've been reading some patents there. So is OpenAI just trying to mimic Google as a search engine and semantic SEO? I mean, they probably should at one point. They might not be able to just rely purely on the generative. They need to figure out intent to a certain extent as well to become a better product, I think. So that is dangerous for Google. And then this final here is more of a digital PR. I mean, kind of article here where they talk about the triple P framework. So how you can basically the P, 3 Ps are presence, perception, and performance, and how you use that in terms of branding, digital PR to gain visibility in the AI world or in the future AI world. I think it's a great article. And we are already kind of following that. Like that is the process. If anyone wants to work with us with link building, let's not call it that anymore, but digital PR, that is the way we're moving. But for anyone else, really, really good read, especially if you're interested in getting ahead of the game in terms of AI visibility and mentions. Whew, that was it. It's mostly AI at this point. It's very SEO and AI are just like this. But for everyone watching, thanks for watching. There'll be more news every week. We publish videos, and please like, comment, subscribe. And thank you, Linus, for joining and your thoughts. And I'll see you guys and girls next week.